Hey, that's Zuchu giving some love to her home country, Tanzania. Yeah, Sasa, that one. It's 13 minutes past 10 o'clock Central African time. Let's get our latest conversation here. As February begins, we are going to be chatting a little bit about keeping going, right? In our Becoming Conversations. We already have our New Year's resolutions on lockdown, but research shows that most resolutions don't go exactly as we plan them out to be. And it says that's also okay. Experts say it's less about perfection, more about perspective, focusing on what we can control, learning from setbacks, and approaching change with patience and self-compassion. We talk about why it's okay to stumble and how to stick to your goals anyway. Angela Nzilane is with us, a transformation life coach from Kenya. Angela, welcome on the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year. It's not allowed. It's almost the end of January. Or is it, Angela? Can we still do it?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can. It's still the beginning of the year. It's still the first month of the year.
All right. I'm saying that, because, at the end of January, people feel like, I'm losing track, right? But you always have to keep perspective because January was probably the planning phase of getting things in motion and getting back into the swing of things.
Yes.
So
yes, it is.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. So how do you go about it in terms of, okay, you've planned and it's time to move things forward?
Oh, yes. There's still time. Anytime we have to tell ourselves that any time is a time for us to begin, because sometimes, you plan and then things don't go as per your plans. And what do? Do you just give up, or do you get out of the way and start doing something new? When something doesn't work, it shows that there's a new way, a different way of doing it, and you can always restart. So we need to really learn to have a lot of grace for ourselves and be able to silence negative voices and speak to ourselves like we are speaking to our best friends. And now, as we are beginning, this is the toughest time where the year has come with so many bills, school fees, and so many. Now the resolutions also need money for us to begin. And you remember we had holidays, we had to be nice to ourselves, enjoy, and sometimes we just go overboard. So beginning is always tough, especially at the beginning of the year. But if you're late, there's always time for you to restart. So it's okay. We are still on time.
What happens now at the beginning of the year is something that I've noticed that's on social media, is that people in the beginning of the year say, okay, we have the 75 hard challenge for weight loss. We have this the 21-day challenge for this challenge for that. So what you're seeing online is you're seeing everybody else go in head first. And by the time, it's the 29th now of January, people are already starting to show, hey, this is how much I've changed in 29 days because this is the goal I've set. And then now you're looking at your vision board, you're looking at your New Year's resolutions and like, why didn't I also start with the 29-day challenge? I would already have my first set of abs by now, or whatever that goal is. Should we be putting that pressure on ourselves, especially when we see other people sort of go in head first?
I think the worst thing we can do to ourselves is comparing ourselves with other people. And it's because we always want to hold on to the shame of, okay, now these are doing better than myself. And we hold on to that shame and we don't move. And comparison is always a stop sign for development, for any growth, for any kind of growth. The only person you need to compare yourself with is the person you were yesterday, or the person you're trying to grow out of. So if we start comparing ourselves with other people, then we stop. But then again, yes, you have delayed. It's okay. It's still okay. We need to start telling ourselves that it is okay. It's okay to make a mistake. It's okay to be slow. It's okay to even to not do something, to just rest. So if we can now start renaming the things that we have been doing, like you say that you had planned to start, or you had not even planned at all, and now it's the 29th. You don't need to say that I'm weak. You judging yourself. You can instead say I was resting. Rename something. Rename whatever it is that you. If you find yourself naming something negatively, especially it's something that concerns you, it's good to just have the realization that no, I shouldn't be speaking negatively to myself. How can I rename this, and how can I rephrase it so that it works for me, so that it feels like I'm not lazy. I'm just in maybe a growing process. What have I learned between 1st and 29th, so that now I can start over.
Yeah, that's so powerful that you say it, that, use your own pace to determine these outcomes. And comparison could be something that is harmful to your progress. I'd like us to look at, finding ways of not also using that as a crippling effect of making excuses, because then you're procrastinating and you renaming things like, no, this is something else. But because sometimes it's just hard to start, like you say, and we can bring up so many excuses like, I don't have the money. You know what? I just come from holidays. Oh, the children are paying all my attentions. I can't really start this project. But how do you actually get started on these beautiful things that you want to pursue in the year 2026? We'll deal with that after the break.
Across Africa, committed to the promise of clean water and clean sanitation. The African Union's 2026 theme calls us to action.
It's about mobilizing real commitments, securing climate-resilient water and sanitation projects, and ensuring that water becomes a driver of sustainable development and prosperity across the continent.
A landmark moment, not only for Africa, but for the global movement for access to safe water for all.
Assuring sustainable water availability for every home, every village, every nation. This is the Africa we want.
Channel Africa, the African perspective.
On the Move, weekdays, 9 a.m. to midday. Only on Channel Africa. #On the Move.
It's 29 days into the brand new year, and you have your vision board up, you've written your goals down, but you haven't actually started doing anything. We're saying don't worry about it today. We're looking at how we can approach these with more patience and self-compassion. Joining us once again is Transformation Life Coach Angela Nzilane. Angela, we're using amazing words today: patience, self-compassion, and I know a lot of people are so hard on themselves, but let's go back to that rephrasing of wording that Benjamin spoke about. One says, I see other people sort of getting started with their New Year's resolutions, and I'm hearing on the show that they said it's okay if I haven't started. I need to be patient and self-compassionate. But how do I know if my patience is actually really procrastination?
The best way you can identify what is really going on is to have time for you to sit with yourself and ask yourself, what really happened? What am I learning from this? What was really going on? Was I really being lazy, or was I maybe distracted by either emotional loads or lack of money or lack of support? Or be honest with yourself, not harsh with yourself. Honest with yourself. Be the person who, first of all, gives yourself positive criticism. Because if you're not learning any lesson, then it just now narrows down to procrastination and excuses. So be clear to yourself that I'm not giving myself excuses, but what can I learn from this season that has just passed and I've done nothing? I feel like I've done nothing. and then look at the positive sides. Things happen for us. Everything happens for us. And there's always something positive you can pick from every situation, every single situation. Even death itself has something positive with it. So what can you pick from whatever it is that you have been doing? Because if you're not learning, then you're not growing. So there's you went through the loss for nothing. There's nothing that you learned from this. It was all total loss. So you have to be able to sit down with yourself and be very honest with yourself, not harsh, but honest. With yourself, and learn that, okay, I can pick 1, 2, 3. It's not enough according to what I would have wanted to achieve, but it's something. And then now giving yourself this grace makes yourself comfortable with being kind to yourself. And sometimes, the world is too harsh. The world is just too negative. It's too harsh to us. And if we do not learn to give ourselves some kindness, then who will? So we have to be our first compassionate people, so that we can also attract this from the world.
And most people say, you know what, I'm just not finding the time to do all these things that I want to get doing. But maybe it's because we're not scheduling things well enough. How do we change that? Because you only have 24 hours in a day, and we also as adults have so many things to do.
It's good. Maybe you do what you can. You don't just do things because people are doing them. Towards the end of 2025, I wanted to start January strong. So I said, I'm going to be walking 10,000 steps every day. So I started in December, beginning of December. So I wanted to finish strong so that I begin strong. So I started the 10,000 steps. I had stayed for quite some time without exercising, and it became very challenging for me. So I had to reduce it and say, okay, I know other people, because I was in a group. Other people are doing 10,000 steps.
Sure.
Should I just do 10,000 so that I fit in, or should I do what is comfortable with me? And for me, 10,000 steps was too much because I had a lot going on. It was too much for me to walk for more than an hour a day. So I started with just a little, like 4,000 steps, and I went to 5,000. And now I can even do 15,000 comfortably.
Love
so
that.
We have to be kind to ourselves and slowly go into the process without judging yourself and without overdoing it. Because if you don't create a habit slowly by slowly, it becomes overwhelming, and you might even find yourself stopping it.
Angela, when it comes to words like compassion and empathy, we see these as words that happen in the third person. So the things that we show to other people, we hardly ever know how to engage with ourselves in the same manner. Would sometimes sort of removing yourself from you, almost viewing yourself as the third person, allow you to give yourself that compassion and that empathy a little bit more, so that you can see that, hey, actually, I'm Palesa, and I say, Palesa, you're actually trying. Palesa is actually trying. So today I'm going to give you a little bit more compassion. Today I'm going to be more empathetic towards you. Are there any other ways or systems that we can implement that can help us do this easier?
If you have a goal of losing 10 kilos, you cannot lose the 10 kilos within a day. So learn to shrink what you're trying to achieve, shrink into smaller goals. So instead of saying that, I have this 10 kilos to lose, what if I just do, maybe I miss a meal a day? So that I start now losing slowly and slowly. So I give myself smaller goals that are achievable on a daily basis. So instead of just doing everything at a go and going to the gym and tiring yourself, learn to shrink your goals into smaller goals, break them down, have your bigger goal, have your vision board with your big goals. I want to build a house within 5 years or within a year or whatever it is. But what am I doing every day to make sure that I stay aligned into these goals that I'm trying to do? So staying aligned is key. not just with the goals, but also your internal self. What are you doing for yourself? What are you breathing? Are you resting? Are you sleeping enough? Are you hydrated? Those small things that we take for granted. We hear people say, when you're told drink water, hydrate, they say, water tastes so bad, I don't want to take water, I can't stand it. And it's good. What about you put 2 drops of lemon in that water and just take? So do what works for you, but make sure that you're doing something and you prepare your mind and your body in a way that it's ready. It's slowly getting ready to receive whatever it is that you're working towards.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Assessing and reviewing is also a good way of monitoring how well you have done, because as much as your goal is going to be for 2026, you won't complete all what it is made out of in 1 year. We think a year is pretty long. It's a short period of time, actually, to get things done. But how important is it writing the things you've done, the tasks that you've completed, and making sure that you're always reflecting back on the progress you've made?
It's very important. Taking personal audits is very important. Just and making sure that even as you take the audits, you sit down with yourself and celebrate every small win that you've achieved. So at the end of the day, in the evening, as you plan the following day, where you're going to start the following day, it's good to sit with yourself, your journal, and ask yourself, okay, what did I achieve? You tick and just smile at it. Just do something that makes you feel like, wow, I've achieved what I had planned to achieve. If you had not achieved, then you tell yourself, okay, tomorrow is another day. Then what do I do so that I make it a different day? I make it more fruitful. So taking audit for yourself, taking audit for whatever it is that you're doing is important. And this is key when it comes to personal leadership. Everybody is a leader, whether you don't look at yourself that way. And if you don't, then you will realize that you're leading yourself into distraction. So you're leading yourself somewhere. So everybody is a leader. So where are you leading yourself? Every leader needs to be audited. Every organization that stands out there, like for example in Kenya we have Safaricom, which is a very big organization. It's audited for it to stand out. How do you audit yourself so that you also stand out?
I love it.
So we must be able to really lead ourselves.
We'll leave it there, Angela. Thank you so much. It was a pleasure speaking to you about this morning.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
That's transformation life coach Angela Nzilane speaking about how we can be more patient and self-compassionate when we approach our goals for the year. It's 10:30 Central Africa time for our latest sports news.